Keegan, what was the moment that got you this weekend? There was a lot of runs. We talked about it off the top of the show. Like, it was a perfect weekend for the Jays. Hitting, pitching, Savage, Gosman, Vladdy. Like, what was that one moment that got your attention the most where you just kind of took it in and were like, wow?
There was a moment, guys, where I looked over my right shoulder and Bryan Hayes, host of Overdrive, had walked into the press box, and something in the air shifted in there. There's these moments you remember, guys, but I gotta go to the Vladdy Grand Slam. What Trey Savage did, we're going to be talking about that for years. I really believe that, guys. 10 years from now, we're going to be talking about, wow, what a performance, but was it as good as Savage's back in 2025? Vladdy's still the face of this franchise, though. It's got to be all about Vladdy, and his moment after he did what he did in Game 1 was incredibly special because it's got to be him. If the Blue Jays are going to go on and win the World Series, it has to be Vladdy. And for him to come up in that moment after a rough finish to the season, that's special, guys. I've covered Vladdy's whole career. That's the game I've been waiting to cover. And I didn't know when it would come. It's been ticking and ticking away. But, man, when that ball went out, that's about as loud as that stadium can get with the roof open. That was pretty special.
So you talked about all the special moments, and we'll get to Bryan Hayes and his entrance here in a second. But, how do they follow it up? Like, you're looking at two perfect games almost. Now you go down to New York, and Hayes was talking about it. It's an unruly crowd. They're going to probably be pissed, but they might be more pissed with their own team than the Blue Jays. But, what can the Jays do either maybe early in a game or just to set the tone to say, we're not letting you back in this series?
Yeah, this makes Bieber so important tomorrow. If Shane Bieber can quiet this down, just pitch a clean first inning and let this place relax, turn it into a ball game. Because when you were at Yankee Stadium, guys, this is a big reason they kept Trey Savage at home. When you are here, you're going to hear some words you haven't heard in a while. You're going to hear some stuff. And that's either going to rain down on the Blue Jays or maybe the Yankees, depending on how this goes. You've got to calm it down. I'm not going to say they need to come out and land a punch and go up 5-0. You can't just decide to do that. But they need to play clean baseball early on. If the Blue Jays boot a couple of ballers around here, you're going to get on top of them. You're going to hear that chant, Bieber, Bieber, Bieber. It happens here, and it's overwhelming when it does happen. I've been here in playoff games where they're chanting the name of the shortstop, of the starting pitcher, and it's going to crush a guy. You've got to avoid that off the top. Just let it be a baseball game. And Shane Bieber's the right guy for this. Guys, this is the whole reason that they acquired him. And if Bieber can go out and clinch against the Yankees, a 3-0 sweep in the ALDS, that's immediately one of the best trades this team's ever made. Just with one win, one game, it's worth everything you gave up. I don't care if Cal Steven goes on to win the Cy Young next year. You sweep the Yankees and clinch, all-time trade.
With Keegan Matheson, MLB.com, and, of course, contributor here on Overdrive, Sports Center, JNSC, does it all. He's down in New York at Yankee Stadium. In terms of the mood around the Jays, how would you compare it today compared to, let's say, Friday?
More of a relaxed confidence, I think I'd put it at. It's pretty calm and cool here, guys. Vladdy said that this was an optional day, but everyone came in. And he highlighted that as a difference between now and back in 22-23. So you can kind of read between the lines there. Maybe back in the day, optional day meant a few players stayed at the hotel. Now they're all here. Everyone was out in the field doing a bit of something. Maybe they were just throwing catch. Maybe they took BP or some ground balls, got some treatment. But everyone was in doing something. The Yankees did not have a workout today, guys, and that surprised me, quite frankly. I thought they would at least have some rounds of BP, have some guys in doing more than just treatment, but they did not hold a workout today. Just the Blue Jays. It was about an hour. It was quick, and listen, it was not the most urgent thing in the world, but they were here, they were together, and I like that. Frankly, that they did that today. I know New York's a fun place to spend an afternoon, but I think this is the biggest game of your season. Get to the ballpark and get together, and it looked like it should.
You mentioned Vladdy. Like, it can't be just the Yankees where he plays them and just switches, flips the switch on Keegan. Did he make some kind of adjustment? It looks like he was getting under the ball, hitting it the other way a little bit, and it just looked different than that one that went straight down on the ground all the time. Like, how did he make that adjustment, and how did he look so good? Because it was incredible what he did, obviously.
Yeah, guys, I think it's a lot like what we saw from George Springer early in the year, where it's not a mechanical adjustment. There's no magic fix in there. A lot of it's just mindset. George Springer last year was defensive. He was trying not to get out instead of trying to get a hit. I think we're seeing that from Vladdy a bit more now, and he's not trying to do too much. He realizes the team around him is pretty good. I know he doesn't have Bo Bichette, but this team has other players. And what we've seen from Vladdy is him just playing free and loose and like a kid, guys. I hate to make the comparison or the explanation of when he's having fun, he plays well, because that just sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm spewing that out. But if there's any player in Major League Baseball, guys, it's Vladdy. I think he should show up, dance and joke around, do whatever he wants. When he is loose and he's taking those big rips like you saw in that Grand Slam, that's when this stuff happens. Like, that's the player that I covered through the minor leagues when he was the number one prospect in baseball. He was having a party on the field every single night. Late September, you see Vladdy with kind of that scrunched face and furrowed brow. He's overthinking things. He's frustrated, slamming his bat, throwing his helmet. That's not Vladdy. Vladdy is a one-man party, and we're seeing that again lately, man. He's having the time of his life, and I think he, even though he's not saying it out loud, no matter how much the New York media is begging him to say it, he loves beating the Yankees.
Yes, and they were dying for that, man. The whole story.
Oh, they wanted it.
Oh, begging
and he
for
wouldn't
them to
give them it,
something.
which was beautiful. He knew what was happening. He knew exactly what was happening. Are you sure, Vladdy? Are you sure it's not us, Big Mighty New York? He knew that he was not going to give them the satisfaction. It was kind of beautiful to witness.